The Kelid was exhausted. He'd broken gods knew how many bones, and probably bruised most of the rest. He was covered in at least 3 different kinds of alien blood, for lack of a better word, and had no idea if it would infect his wounds. His right arm would never work the same again, but he was alive, and his enemy wasn't. He looked down at the wrecked body of the strange metal man from the stars, then up at the hole blasted into the sky, at the still slightly terrifying ball of plasma that was Galarian's sun. I'm the first member of my clan in a millennium to see that thing. A blue sky with a great burning orb hanging in it. No one will ever believe me. He looked down at the warped, jagged lump of metal that was, until recently, one of only 3 metal weapons his clan possessed. I wonder if it's even worth saving. Hoping it would be, he tucked the former sword into his belt, since it no longer fit in its scabbard, and headed back to where the orc warrior fell. He stopped on the way to pick up the Gorham necklace. He examined it, running his fingers over the strange scrimshaw. I've seen a mountain like this before. I know I have. It was so familiar. Numeria had few mountains, and he hadn't been near any of them since he was a child, but he thought the clan elders may recognize it. He retied the rawhide string and slipped the oversized symbol around his own neck. When he got to the orc, he stopped and stared for a long time as things finally began to make sense. The strange lightning from the metal creature's spear had burned away a chunk of the orc's clothing when it hit, and the Kellig could now see other, older burn marks. Mixed in with them were strange, awful-looking sores and boils, some of them with a faintly glowing green pus still leaking out. He was sick with something. I've never seen a disease like this, but it had to be fatal. Out loud he said, "A good death. That's what you said. That's why you attacked me, isn't it? And why you did it the way you did. You could have killed me in ambush. You could have killed me after I fell down the cliff. You could have killed me 12 times in our fight, but you held back. You wanted to die in battle. And when I still lost, what? You decided to kill me and hope someone else would come along? Or at least that was the plan before that thing interrupted us. I'm sorry I wasn't strong enough to give you the death you wanted. And I'm sorry I never even learned your name." The Kelid looked down at his ruined right hand, shrugged, and did his best to pull the orc loose of the rubble one-armed. He didn't know how orcs dealt with their dead, but Kelids burned them. And even if orcs didn't normally, he couldn't bury him in this hard ground, and he wouldn't leave him for the scavengers. He dragged the orc towards the gout of flame behind the boat. Once he'd gotten as close as he could without burning himself as well, he used the last of his strength to heave the orc up and toss him as hard as he could at the purple fire. The body landed still a ways away from the actual flame, but it was close enough. He stood there, enduring the heat long enough to be sure that he could see the orc's clothing start to burn, and then his skin. I'm sorry it's not something more dignified, but it's the best I can do. Rest well, warrior. The Kelid turned, and standing in front of him was another man, older, taller, with heavy, faded burns across half his face, and an arm that was metal all the way up to the shoulder instead of just to the wrist. He smiled at the newcomer. "Hello, Vargas. This is Pot Against the Machine."
Pot Against the Machine.
Welcome back to Pot Against the Machine, the only Pathfinder actual play that loses all of its cool magical abilities when you kill the undead star-crossed lover that's wielding it. I'm your host, and here's everybody.
I thought we were talking about Brixby and Hersek for a second, but never mind.
Oh, yeah, that's where I put my sadness down from last time. Let me just pick that.
Hoist that over a shoulder.
Oh,
Hello.
hello.
Hey.
Previously on the program, the party finished up their fight with the last troop of the Mi-Go and then found the fabled treasure, the other half of the black force field wristbands. After that, I think they were finally finished with the fungal caves. They made their way out of there and decided to make a beeline to the south for the swampy area where the disembodied brain of Therace had said the rest of his party went with a bunch of their, technically good treasure and whatnot. The party went on down there, found that the river forked into more of a swampy horribleness that spread out through the valley, investigated a few caves, and found just the kind of thickening grossness getting worse and worse as they went until they finally found a narrow little cave that led back farther than the rest. There were pools inside. One of those pools just seems to be a 5-foot deep pool of gross water. The other one seemed to have an underground tunnel in it. After the party got pretty worried about that underground tunnel and took a bunch of precautions, they jumped in and found it didn't go very far at all. They popped out the other end where they found 2 skeletons who looked like they died facing each other across from one another in this cave. But one of those skeletons, who happened to be a pale stranger, popped up, brandished his 2 magical guns, and accused the party of being the other dead body in the room. A fight ensued, and there were some shootings. There was some grappling of ghosts, and eventually Nemgetter went down, and the party got all of his cool stuff and discovered that they had actually found his estranged lover's locket, or wayfinder, rather, earlier in this very same valley. And that was the wayfinder that, instead of pointing north, was pointing at this very cave. So, that's where we are now.
I'm trying to not be sad about these star-crossed lovers and the locket that we found. Thank you for the Sky Medal again, and for the fantastic dedication from Belle and Dora. Please give us more.
Thank you.
Everyone.
Thank you.
I don't know if anybody's getting any more Sky Medals unless some of our generous patrons start sending in some of those dedications.
And also we make outrageous guesses that are correct. I guess iron gods were people who enjoy flattening clothing a lot.
All right, I'll mark that one down.
Iron
later.
gods. Yeah. That's going to be a Sky Medal in 3 years.
Mm-hmm. Or like a business plan we could all start after this if we were really in gear.
You could just start a laundromat.
Not quite ready to break up the team. So
5
we started a
separate
business.
laundromats. Yeah.
We cover a good chunk of the United States. There's, the whole sort of Midwestern area that's going to be pretty wrinkled.
I don't know. I'm in Missouri.
Yeah, so you got a good chunk of the country there. It's just that mountain time zone that must suffer with wrinkled clothing.
Yeah. Sorry, Triple Chooch.
Oh.
Subscribe to our recently minted, fund our poorly thought out laundry chain model tier.
Pod against the wrinkles.
Yeah, there we go.
Which is not a skincare line. That's a different pod.
Pod for the wrinkles.
I forgot I had 10 minutes before this, and I was like, oh my God, we've been doing this for 14 minutes.
Time flies when you're just so in character.
Don't worry, it's definitely going to feel like 14 minutes to anybody listening. Okay. So,
It's like, what? And we'll never know.
Yeah. Yeah, we won't ever know the story behind these guys, will we?
No, like, can we kind of speak with Dead to figure out why Nemgetter was so angry up in Nosh?
Do you have speak with Dead?
No.
Then no.
And that's going to be rough.
I'm afraid you can't then.
We just take his head in the bag.
How high level was Nemgetter? Like above 12?
You're making me look this up here.
Yes.
I mean, we fought him by himself as a 12th level party, so probably.
Well, it's an important distinction for like what constitutes a legendary.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. Forgot about that.
Yes.
Like I think it's like 11th to 12th level, if I remember correctly.
Sky metal.
No.
Aaron, can't I find Nemgetter? There he is. Oh, he was CR12.
It's up to you. If you would.
Yeah, would he be considered a legendary in the case of someone possibly having the ability to learn lore about a legendary?
I mean, if you want to spend the spell on it, you can probably learn some lore about Nemgetter.
I would say he's legendary enough if the famous Seattle band Pearl Jam wrote Yellow Nemgetter about him years and years ago.
That's
That
true.
one's for our particularly grunge-loving Gen Xers. We really know our crowds.
Oh, yeah. Eddie Vedder himself is famously a listener, but not a patron.
Not to be confused with Eddie Nemgetter.
So Brixby turns and looks at everyone and says, if you'll indulge me, there's something that has just been, clawing at me about the love lost here down in this cave and forgotten. And while he's saying this, he's pulling out some of this incense that he bought while they were in Yadenve, as well as these 4 different pieces of ivory that he arranges in cardinal directions around the body. If you'll indulge me, this should only take, about under an hour or so, and we could learn more about Nemgetter and brought them here.
It's still early in the day, and I am also interested in who this person is and what their relationship is to that other person we found a few days ago.
Fine by me. That's an hour where presumably nothing will be trying to kill us, so possibly the best hour of the day, really.
Thank you. I appreciate this. And he lights the incense in front of him, and it's pink. It's pink like the disc. It's pink like the dreams, like his mother's smoke. And he begins casting legend lore. So this brings to my mind legends about an important person, place, or thing. This is a spell that I got as a Void Elemental school caster. It's one of my school spells. If the person, thing, or place is at hand or in question, the casting time is only 1d4 times 10 minutes. If you only have detailed information about it, it's longer. It's like days. And if you barely know anything about it, it's 2d6 weeks. I can't do anything during the casting at all. And when completed, the divination brings legends, if anything, about the person, place, or things to my mind. It's maybe legends that are still current, legends that have been forgotten, or even information that has never generally been known. The person, place, or thing is 11th level, and higher, that is considered legendary. And that's kind of the cliff notes.
All right, well, why don't you bounce a d4 to see how long it takes Brixby to summon this lore from the past?
And that is a 3.
Right, so it's 30 solid minutes that the crew is hanging out in this dank cave that's almost completely disconnected from the rest of the world, while Brixby is breathing in this pink smoke and trying to gaze into the past, basically, and it obviously it feels like it takes a long time, and since Brixby's never done this before, maybe for a while, like it feels like it's not even working. But eventually, I think he sees it, like, in his mind's eye, and even though, like, his eyes are open, he can see the cave in his mind's eye. He can see the handsome version of Nemgetter that's in the locket, as he was riding a horse along, chasing a wagon in a desert plain somewhere, and I do almost kind of somehow intuitively know that he's in the mana waste, and he's like rushes across the path of the wagon, forcing the horse, pulling the wagon to rear up, and the wagon tips over, and he robs the wagon, as you get the sense that this Nemgetter was a highwayman who would terrorize merchants and travelers in the mana wastes. But it wasn't until he fell in love with a pathfinder named Mora Calais, and you see like a flash of this woman's face, and you see the wayfinder that you guys have found, like, around her neck. And you see the two of them together, and then you just see these glimpses that Nemgetter finally made a mistake in his ne'er-do-well ways that landed him in prison, and he sat in jail for a little while before managing a daring escape, after which he fled to the north, abandoning the love of his life in pursuit of freedom. But a relentless Alkenstari bounty hunter named Tema Benosh chased him down, pursued him all the way from Alkenstar to Numeria, where even Nemgetter's trusty acquisition of 2 sonic pistols that he found amongst ruins there couldn't save him. And the chase ended in this very cave, in the Scar of the Spider, when Nemgetter was finally cornered, and the 2 rivals killed one another. While Tema simply died, he saw what happened to Nemgetter. He rose after death and haunted this cave, eternally mourning the life and love that he foolishly left behind.
Aww.
So, Brixby, like, whispers a little prayer to Desna and hopes that they will find some sort of peace, even if it's just in dreams. And then he shares the story. So, like, one of them is played by Tommy Lee Jones and the other one is Harrison Ford. And they've run down a tube, and there's like this moment. And I think we have to stop there.
Legally.
Otherwise we get into... Yeah, it's like the girl talk rule or whatever they arbitted in 2006. Whatever makes me sound old to reference that.
Weirdly enough, it's not the creators of The Fugitive that are going to sue us, but the creators of Wrongfully Accused, the Leslie Nielsen parody.
Sky Metal. But it looks like his story ended here. Do you think we could put him in the blanket?
Well, we don't have the blanket anymore, but we can put him in a plastic baggie.
That's cool. I mean, it's really like we would need. It would be unfair to put him in the friend blanket because we weren't really friends. It's like a paranormal, parasocial relationship, technically. So I think we should try to transport his body back to her, his beloved, and then we can inter them in the earth or whatever other rites we might find appropriate, but they should be together.
I think that would be nice. Kira will pick up a body. Kira will grab a body.
And that body, by the way, was in the machine caves. But and amongst
I was just thinking that maybe we if we wanted to try and talk to whole
Why not?
giant robot,
Oh,
we
I
could.
forgot that was another thing we could do, is maybe try to talk to the crazy killer robot in the cave.
Let's see if he's calmed down. I don't want to
Yeah.
gender him.
Because we wanted to wait a couple days in case he was still angry
In
at
case it was mad.
mannequins.
So a little tender body reunification side story with a possible robot friend twist. I'm in.
I like it.
It's rom-com's writing itself.
Somehow the Halak is in this room, but we can't get it back through the hole. Just ready to go. I want to zoom off. I want to leave this terrible place. We still have a basement though, right? Didn't we only do the... No, did we do... Is this the last area?
This was the end of this cave. It was just the tunnel that led here into this sort of
Okay.
hidden room.
Yeah, because I remember I used a level 6 or level 5 spell on us because I thought we'd be underwater for longer, and it was like a 30-second thing to get through that.
Just a quick jaunt.
Yeah.
That happens.
Well, now we know.
You won't need that spell slot later.
We could all swim. How long is it going? Do we still have time to cavort in the goo?
Don't we have like
It
4 or
was-
5 hours?
It was an hour per level split among everybody, so I think we had I don't remember how math works.
Oh, an hour per
fine.
level. My bad.
Yeah.
But we still have time.
We got some time to goo.
Yeah, hour per level split among 5 of us, or 6 of us actually. So yeah, we still have plenty of time. So we each had 2
Make
hours.
judicious use of it. Yeah. We can really mosey and take in the sights this time.
You go first. Nice.
I forgot it was kind of shallow and I hurt my leg.
Oh, gotta leave her behind.
Try to swan dive in.
You shouldn't jump into shallow water like that. It's the first thing they teach you in Kaseth.
There. So specific.
Yeah, so I'm just looking to have direction from all of you. Are you headed further into the swamp? Are you headed back to the machine cave?
I vote Machine Cave first, just because we have a body now.
Yeah, and we don't know what we're going to run into in the swamp that might delay us or cause us to lose our stuff or anything.
Jeff?
It's true.
The only thing in favor, I think, of the swamp would be we'd have a little bit of life bubble left if we think we're going to encounter anything that might require it. Whereas we'll definitely lose that if we go off to the machine caves. We could always leave Nemgetter over here, out in the... prop him up with sunglasses against a tree.
What sort of speed are we making? I mean, good point. So, what sort of, speed are we making through the swampy area? I don't mean to make you dive into the GM Overland rules, but, yeah, if we are just kind of plodding along, if the remaining, hour and some change of life bubble isn't really going to get us very far, then I see that as but I mean, Jeff is right. If we could potentially explore the swamp within this time, that might be a good use.
Yeah, I guess how long would it...
Yeah, I mean, without being how long's the adventure, Sam? It's does it look like do we see an impassable expanse?
The swamp is a big place, so moving through it is going to take a while. I mean, obviously you don't know if there's anything to find in here at all, so you don't know how long it might take. Maybe the neurocam's in the next cave, or maybe it's not here at all. So it definitely will take more than an hour, I think, to work your way through the entirety of the swamp, but who's to say how much relevance there is here?
And also, as we step outside the cave and back into the swamp proper, I think Alwyn kind of looks around and says, maybe we should explore a little further before we go and take him back to the machine cave.
Yes, I'm inclined to agree with you, Alwyn. I I don't know how to quite put my finger on it, but it feels like we are close, perhaps, to finding what we're looking for. I just feel drawn to explore this further before we trek all the way back to the machine caves.
I feel something very similar. It's hard to explain, but I think we might be near what we're looking for. Maybe the neurocam has something that we're noticing, or I don't know. It's strange, but I just feel like it's a good idea to keep exploring.
Yeah, that sounds good to me, too. I think we can hang out here for a while.
It feels right to be here now.
Yes, we may be quite close to that orange Julius.
Yeah, I mean, we can absolutely consider the machine caves a place to spend the night, even if we wanted to, or a separate venture tomorrow. But yeah, let's continue on. Obviously, I don't want to dissuade your mysterious feeling.
It's just a normal feeling, Brixby. It's just normal. We just like the swamp.
I like a swamp. It's like a pool, but shallow and gross.
So, headed into, back into the swamp as you all resume your search, the trunks and the knees of the cypress trees that grow out of the swamp here bulge out in great distended tumorous shapes, too thick for any healthy wood, even by Numerian standards, even by Scar of the Spider standards. There's too much silence in this place, and the ground is wet and squelching under your feet, releasing little pockets of decay from an infinite accumulation of days every time you step. Weeds and misshapen briars dominate every bit of land that dares rise out of the mire, as if fighting for control of that little bit of dry space, and the air is thick and heavy and oppressive here with unnatural warmth and humidity and perhaps something more. Some touch of the unreal or the grotesque hangs all around this place. The caves that you explore here lining the walls along this swamp are just as numerous in the southern stretch of valley as they are in other parts, but they're different in nature here. They're taller, thinner fissures and cracks in the cliff walls, but when you inspect them, they're dead and forsaken and full of rot. You find rotting webs and moldering animal corpses like an encrusted bones of once proud predators, and nothing at all. No monsters, no survivors, no treasures. Your life bubble does kind of decay and disappear into nothing as the day leeches away and progress is slow. The farther you press into the swamp, the more the decay progresses. Even those tenacious, monstrous plants that have survived on the northeastern side of the muck grow more stunted, more lifeless, more gray, until finally, as you slosh and squelch, all that remaining is rotting vegetable matter and gray, lifeless slop that may once have been alive a very long time ago. When you emerge from one more pointless cave where the mud grabs your boots and pulls as if to keep you here, strange buzzing has filled the air ahead. You hear them before you see them. Strange, wasp-like creatures that are hard to miss, a full 15 feet long, with spider-like faces and long, pincered appendages hovering in the air, their carapaces chipped and peeling, seemingly covered in tiny wounds. As they close in on all of you, like a pack of hungry predators, their chitinous skeletons seem to shimmer with inexplicable hues in the late afternoon light. I think it's time to roll for initiative.
So pretty.
Someday I'm going to pre-roll initiative, and this is all going to be, like, so smooth.
It could just be like 1, 2, 3, 4.
I could probably do this. So the burdened Allowan.
The burdened Allowan got a 10 on the die for a 17.
Right, the dowdy Kira.
Dowdy. Wow, okay. That's 17 for 23.
Right. How about the overcritical Brixby?
That there in my chat is a 21.
And Snake Squad, Cavalier Tarazi. Whoa, it's like they...
I love that so much of all the adjectives. Like, hey, this one's a class of mine. Anyway, rolled a complete trash. 6 on the dice for a 9.
Well, that's not the slowest. If that's any consolation for you. We will begin combat with,
That's a lot.
the Dowdy Kira.
Right, Kira's gonna rage and move. How far can we get? Way up here, huh? Move right up into this face of this first guy. How high up are they? Can she hit it with a chainsaw?
Yeah, they're low enough that you can reach them, I think.
Awesome. So she's gonna try and hit this guy that I think northmost.
The wonderful one.
Is it wonderful? Yes. And hit it with a chainsaw, or try to. It's not great. That's an 8 for a 30.
Yeah, 30 will hit.
Woohoo! Eight plus 25. 33? Yeah. 33 points of damage.
That's a lot.
That's fine. That's my turn.
All right, Brixby, you're up next.
Brixby, we're like pretty far away here, aren't we? Look at those bad boys. They're so far away from each other, or from us, but they're not that far away from each other. So Brixby is going to pull out the trusty ball of bat guano that everyone knows and loves, give a toss, and drop a fireball right on top of whichever one the second from the southmost is.
The childish creature.
Yes, the childish one. So I need some reflex saves. Plus,
All right, let's see. We're gonna start with the lowest one, the sarcastic one. That reflex save is going to be an 18.
that is a fail-reno.
This one, I got a cracked die. The next one is lower. And the third one is a 27.
If this was too easy, actually that wouldn't be a critical success, but that's pretty darn good there. Flying monstrosity. So 2 fails.
Okay.
Yeah. That is 35 points of damage. So that would be 17 for the one that succeeded.
So the pleased one gets 35 points of damage. The pleased one does not. That's the one that gets 17 points of damage.
Aha.
And then the childish one gets the full 35. And then weirdly, the sarcastic one at the bottom, when it gets hit by this fireball, just completely burns into ash. Just like there's nothing left of it.
Brixby looks at his paws for a second and is like, that is never happened before. And because he is perplexed, he would love to roll a knowledge on what these things are.
All right, that would be Arcana.
Alrighty. Let's drop a knowledge and not 1d210. That would be sick. Alright. 13 for 31.
All right, these are spider eaters. Strange beasts that resemble a wasp the size of a horse. They appear to be an amalgam of dangerous creatures. They're predators, and as their name suggests, they prefer to hunt and feed upon spiders. Their greatest boon to spider hunting, aside from their stinger, ability to fly, and strong pincers, is their ability to slip through even the stickiest of webs in order to get to their prey. Unfortunately for other creatures, when a spider eater is denied its preferred prey, when perhaps all the spiders are dead, it will seek out any living creature it can find to serve as a host for its ravenous young. And with a 30, you get 3 questions on the spider eaters who definitely look like there's something wrong with them.
Is one of the questions, what's wrong with them?
Yeah. So they're like radiated or whatever.
Yes, my first question is what is wrong with them? The second one, we'll get to those ravenous young. But the first one, what is wrong with them?
These creatures appear to be covered in wounds and hideously deformed. They seem to glow with a kind of unnameable color or light. They have terrible ability damage, and essentially there is always a chance that they could crumble into a fine ash. Every day, basically, they have a possibility of simply crumbling away and ceasing to be.
So that one didn't die from Brixby's attack. It just was like a bad roll on the see if it crumbles.
Don't tell Brixby that.
It's just got raptured.
He's going to keep that secret so he looks better.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
They're like doubly vulnerable to fireballs, which is why I'm so smart. And this is, no, they're spider eaters, but something's really wrong with them.
I'm going to ask a couple other questions. Tell me about the ravenous young. I assume that's probably some sort of special attack, or perhaps, yeah, let's go with a special attack. And then if it's not there, we'll keep going. I have another question after that.
Special attack, well, they do have poison on their stingers, which is can cause paralysis if they get you. The one that you care about, I think, is the implant ability. Spider Eater grows its eggs inside a living host. You've never seen that sort of thing before. Implanting an egg in a host is a full-round action that provokes attacks of opportunity. The target must be helpless but alive. So, as long as you don't get hit with that poison or knocked unconscious, you probably don't have to worry about the egg that will exude paralytic enzymes into your body, keeping you in a state of perpetual paralysis while it nourishes itself on your comatose but fully aware state.
Yikes.
So for anybody that's ever been to the southwest U.S. and just seen the horrifying monstrosity that is a tarantula hawk, it's basically that, but the size of a horse.
Terrifying. Nature's war for spiders and wasps. Jeffs and Sam continue. But I have one more question, and that is, what are its defenses? Let's just do defenses.
All right, well, it only has one special defense, but it's a pretty good one. It is constantly under the effects of freedom of movement.
Ooh. That makes sense with the whole webby-doo thing.
Yeah, so can't bind it or anything.
So, well, okay, yeah, you didn't say any other immunities. So I am to assume then that they aren't like mindless vermin. They're probably some other, but I'm not going to meta from what knowledge roll I rolled. But
I'm not saying mind affecting. Wait. Anyway, Aluin, they're not fully bugs. They seem like they're smarter and possibly less, less like the Migo. So get weird. Also, they'll plant their babies in you, and it's bad. Don't let it happen.
Do we still have delay poison?
That's also an hour level, and we did it even earlier than we did life bubble, so it's gone.
Yeah, so delay poison would probably be gone.
Yeah, because it's like an hour 40 for each, because my caster level is technically 11, not 12, so since if life bubble is gone, then it's definitely gone because we did it a little while before life bubble.
Cool. So we don't have delay poison. These are spider eaters. They will implant their babies in you. Also have a paralytic poison that allows the whole baby implanting. They also have freedom of movement. They're covered in wounds, and they might have a propensity to burst into dust and ash any day.
And it's one of their
A
turns.
random chance to just die on their own, apparently. And you said it... What did you say was also weaker because of that? Was it the ability scores?
It has some kind of ability damage, yeah. Good news. This Frank, color-blighted spider eater, is going to charge at Tarazi, flying through the air.
Cool. Does it seems like it's going to pass through Levi's reach, threaten square, and he has combat reflexes, so
It will.
gonna just take a little quick chomp. But don't worry about it, because it rolled a 4.
All right, I won't worry about that. Now it's going to go for the flat-footed AC of Tarazi, and it is going to get a grand total of a 22 to hit.
Oh, no, sir.
Yeah, I didn't think so. But how about the pleased color-blighted spider eater, which is going to charge the big old snake and go for a sting attack. But that might provoke as well, since it does have to get within 5 feet. It does not have reach.
Yeah, that is a... Let's see, what's 25 or 26? No, it's a 27 to hit.
27 hits.
Yay. It's almost max. 18 points of damage, but I heard they have freedom of movement, so a grab attempt seems futile.
Yeah, grabbing them I don't think would really work out. It will definitely miss on its attempted sting. Which brings us to the burdened Alwyn.
Hey, Burdened Alwyn did hear that his mind-affecting spells will work on them, which is good, but while we're all still kind of grouped up fairly close, other than Kira, who does it automatically herself anyway, he is going to just cast haste on everybody.
Everybody's got the zoomies.
Oh, I still have it ticked on from the fight against What's-His-Face, so I don't need to tick it on.
I apparently deleted it when I took it off.
Yep.
There we go.
I'm glad I did not get attacked, because I would have assumed my AC was one higher than it should have been.
All right.
And that will be his entire turn, is just casting haste.
Okay, Asuma is going to take a 5-foot step back just to give herself a little bit of space, and she's going to take, with haste, 5 shots. This is going to be ridiculous.
A lot of shots.
First one hits, and the Frank color-blighted spider eater bursts into ash upon being shot with the frost rifle. So our next one is going to go for the other. Yeah, that'll hit. And yeah, also bursts into ash. So shot number 3 is going to go over at the one by Kira, because that's the only one in her first range increment. That will also hit, because I forgot for a second that I was rolling against touch. That one doesn't die. But it does take 18 damage. Which one is that again? Wonderful. And then her final shot, Lois Bab, also at wonderful. Also a hit. Doesn't burst into ash. Alright, that one is almost dead. And the Soma is finished. The childish, color-blighted spider eater doesn't seem to care that all of its friends are bursting into ashes, and it's gonna rush up. Full double move, chargey do at the big old snake that's in the way of anybody else. I don't know if he gets a third attack of opportunity.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, you need to keep counting after that, but it's only a 22.
22 will hit.
Has 16 points of damage.
All right, this one is looking quite hurt as well. But it's going for that sting. How does a 24 sound?
It sounds unfortunate for you. Yeah.
That's a shame. Well, squad's up.
Okay. Yeah. I think, the sensible thing is to just start chomping on it with the larger snake, since it's right there. Knowing its AC, that is all 3 hits. Levi has never rolled this high, 16, 16, 18.
Nice.
17 on the first one.
All right, still alive and doesn't burst into ash.
15.
That kills it. The normal way, no ash involved, just dead.
Hooray. Seeing as these are kind of falling fairly easily, Tarazi does not feel a need to rush to Kira's aid. I think she would feel insulted. So instead he will stow the null blade and draw the horn bow just to have it in case, wave 2 comes on or something, but that's going to be his whole turn.
All right, and that'll bring us over to the wonderful color-blighted spider eater, the only still standing spider eater, who's right in front of Kira, and it gets to full attack. So that's...
Yeah.
We'll start with the bite. 22 to hit.
22 will probably... What? Oh, no, it will hit. I forgot my AC went up, but it's 22, so...
I'm a miss on the blur.
Nice. Wait.
Yay. Pincer number 1 is a 20.
20 will not hit. No. 20 damage?
20 to hit.
20 to hit. No. Stop. That's not good.
Pincer number 2 is only gonna miss, and the stinger, the big one. Now terrible. 20 also.
Nope.
Just the saddest little guy.
Oh, buddy.
And it's Kira's turn. This thing just tried to hit you a bunch of times. It didn't work out.
Yeah, Kira's seen these other guys bursting into ash and is like, I want to do that. So she's going to hit it with she's going to full attack and hit it with a chainsaw, in theory. She's going to reach around the cat who is in the dice tray. And I guess be inconvenienced because the cat has decided to sit here. That is a 33 to hit on the first one.
Yeah, that'll hit.
Let me go ahead. Well, let me roll damage and see if that does anything first. 34 points of damage.
All right, it just normal dies. It does not burst into ash.
Aw, Kira's disappointed.
Well, and that is the end of the rather pathetic color-blighted spider eaters.
Almost like they were sick with some kind of hideous disease or something.
Well, yeah, and we touched on that initially, right? A little bit. Is there more that can be learned about this now that we're out of combat and can examine them now that they're not in the process of trying to eat our spiders?
I don't know that there's a ton you can tell from them. And there's definitely, it's like something they've been drained in some way. Like obviously the ones that were reduced to ash, there's nothing left to even inspect, but the other ones that just looks like something was sucking the life out of them.
Perhaps a larger spider is eating the spider eaters.
Would a heal check or something know anything? I got a little bit in that. Is it like a disease?
You can give it a try.
I don't have much. I have a +5, but it's...
Got a 24 on heal.
Got a 22, so you beat me.
Alwyn and Tarazi looking over the couple remaining corpses of these things. It doesn't seem like a disease. It doesn't seem like anything you're familiar with.
What time of day is it?
Late afternoon.
How long have we been going into the swamp? Roughly in terms of hours, in terms of like where we are and how that would reflect on our return if we were to tromp and not do a little jaunty wizard.
I mean, you've been in the swamp for several hours now. There's always the possibility of making a more direct line out, which would be faster than coming in with, like, following the edge of
Yeah, because we were, like, checking for
caves.
caves and such, yeah.
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 Mhm.
Okay. Cool. I just wanted to make sure that it like wasn't impending darkness in the swamp.
So, like, I can teleport us out of here whenever we're comfortable. Probably to Raiders, because I don't know the machine cave as well. But we can go ahead a bit longer. I just don't... Something seems very sick about this area. But I guess everything here does.
Turns on the little fan on the back of his disc like it's a boat in the Floridian swamp.
Ellen will say, whatever was wrong with these creatures, it doesn't seem like it was a disease. Maybe some kind of curse or something? But even so, it's still correct to say that it could be dangerous to push further.
You mean you think we're gonna die and burst into ash, or burst into ash and die, in that order?
I don't feel like I'm turning into ash.
Well, you never do you?
I don't know. We didn't think to ask them.
I believe we have enough resources left to continue further before we make a magical retreat. Or are the two of you, he looks to Alwyn and Brixby, more depleted than I believe we are?
I mean, my magical stores are actually quite full compared to yesterday. It's just unsettling. But again, you know, to be fair, Alwyn, we have no idea what the other ones, the other brain takers, they all seem to be very brain-oriented in this area. The other ones could have done this, or some other sickness that came from the stars, from the Migo.
Yes.
We may carry it, we may not, but we have to head on.
As dangerous as it seems, I do think until we know for sure that whatever affected them could affect us as well, that we might as well just keep pushing on. I still have plenty of spells left, and we have quite a while until night, though I still don't get why no one else likes to travel at night, but for right now, we seem safe, and if whatever affected them is affecting other things here, it could mean that they're less dangerous to us. Oh, though he will, I think after looking over this and not being able to figure out what it is, recast both Life Bubble and Delay Poison Communal. So we get another, I want to get this exactly right. So 1.8 hours, so yeah, like an hour 40 or so each. An hour 40 to 1.6, like hour 45 each.
Thanks, Alwyn.
Sometimes they have interval. I mean, I don't want to make the math more difficult, but some spells can only allow you to divide them in hours or 10-minute intervals. Just a heads up. I usually say that at the foot of a spell. I don't know if it's the case with some of them. Like,
in 1 hour intervals among the creatures touched, you're right. So we would each get 1 hour, and then we would have 5 of us would get 2 hours. So sorry, Azuma, you're only getting an hour.
Yeah, just what I was thinking.
And actually, you know what? For the life bubble, I'm going to use my extend rod.
Cool.
So in that case,
Isn't it a lesser? Oh, do we have a full extend now?
it's a lesser.
Oh, okay. Oh, life bubble's level 3.
Life bubble is level 5. Oh wait, no. So I can't. Can I use it on that? No, I can't. Yeah, I can use it on the delay poison though.
Kite.
So that would be longer. Yeah. So we'll get the delay poison for longer.
Sweet.
Thank you, Alwyn. Well, Tarazi makes a compelling point. Does anybody else see a reason to turn around?
Well, we're here. We may as well keep exploring. It did take us a while to get here.
And it feels like we're close to something.
This is also sunk cost whatever. Let's just go.
No, it wouldn't sink very far. It's a swamp. It's...
Hey-o.
Can't hear you over the fan on the back of my disc.
She said... No, I'm just- I will say, though, while we're out in this more open area, Tarazi will keep with the horn bow and not the null blade for now, at least. If we go into a cave, I'll probably switch it back. But even though I don't have all the cool ranged feats, it's still, at least for the first round, worth it.
All right. Well, as you make your way farther into the swamp, checking more and more caves, and just wasting more and more of your precious daylight, and you see more of the same. The swamp vegetation is all drained of color. What remains is a blasted gray landscape of muddy water and brittle vegetation. Yet now and then, a strange shimmer seems to pass through the dead plants and the silt and the water. Shimmer of a color that's strangely difficult to classify. You arrive at a place where 5 cave entrances beckon in the cliffside, with gritty, weirdly shimmering mud staining the tunnel floors as they wind underground.
Let's each take a cave entrance and explore.
Love this plan.
As you close in on the 5 cave entrances, maneuvering your way through the swamp, quite suddenly, a rather large thing bursts out of the water. At first, it looked like it was only a small little tendril sticking up out of the water, but as you close in, this huge, immense creature bursts forth, covered in strangely shimmering raw wounds. This awful-looking, tentacled beast with a huge mouth and a long, barbed tongue hanging out bursts forth, and it's time to roll for initiative. So let's see, the familiar Alwyn.
The familiar Alwyn got slightly higher than last time, but still not super great, with a 12 on the die for a 19.
All right, the apprehensive Tarazi.
Well, much better for him. 14 off the dice for a 17.
All right, let me just update the rest of the snake squad here. And the strategic Brixby.
Old strategic Brixby rolled a nat 1 for a 9, and also didn't move his token up with the rest of the party, so he's like, I don't know, 80 feet away or something. He's like,
Or maybe he wants to be that far away. How about the imaginative Kira?
Oh, is she imaginative now? That's better. Kira rolled a 14 total.
All right. Well, bad news for everyone, as this big old thing that burst out of the water gets to go first. And as it goes first, it's going to just shoot its tongue out at Kira. as this tongue is very, very long. It doesn't even have to move for this. So
Dang it.
Kira's flat-footed AC, how does a 23 sound?
Sounds pretty good, Sam. I mean, good for you.
Okay, so only the tiniest little bit of damage. That's only 12 damage. That's the good news. The bad news is the free attempt to grab. I did roll a natural 20. I don't want to tell you the total because everyone might quit the game. So you're grabbed.
Oh dear.
So it is going to deal just a quick constrict damage on you, I think, for the grapple. That is 18 more damage, and Kira just gets pulled up to this thing's mouth. No big deal. No big deal at all. Familiar Alwyn, you are up.
The familiar Alwyn is, after seeing Kira get eaten by some type of giant, horrible frog monster, is immediately going to take a step up, if I remember to turn on walking, and touch Tarazi and cast Freedom of Movement onto him, and just say, "We need to be careful. That creature was almost 30 feet away and grabbed her like it was nothing. We don't know how far it can grab any of us from."
Thank you.
But yeah, Tarazi can tick on Freedom of Movement, and that is his turn.
All right, well, Snake Squad's up.
Okay. Yikes. Let's see how many tongues this thing has. The non-free-domed, formless Levi is going to get up first because he has quite the movement speed. It has a numerical value. I believe it's 40 feet. Yep. So he's going to move. That gets him right there at 40.
Okay. As you close in, it does bite you as you're about 15 feet away. How about a 33 to hit on the bite?
Ugh. That does hit, and not by as much as you'd think.
21 bite damage.
Ow. Seems rude, but I'll allow it. And then Levi would try and bite it back. Ooh, how about a 31?
A 31 will hit this horrible creature, but not by as much as you might think.
Fair. 18 points of damage, and then Levi, of course, will attempt to grab a hit.
Sure.
Wow, but a letdown on the orange creamsicle. You hate to see it. No, that was not sufficient.
Levi has not grabbed.
It was only 27 dresses.
27 dresses are not enough dresses.
Yeah, I didn't think it was. Sorry, oh mercy. My pop-up, I'm trying to move Tarazi, and I'm just mousing over it, kept making the image bigger. Tarazi now, having stepped over 5 feet, conveniently can see enough with some cov to make some difficult shots, but shots nevertheless. Such trash. A 2 and a 1 were 2 of those, but I did have a 25.
Yeah, do it.
That's okay. I just realized it would have been a -4. So really just what I would call the most effective turn Tarazi's probably had. It just really made him shine. And you could tell a little apprehensive, maybe. I don't want the adjective to inform his behavior. That's only for NPCs. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking. Had a turn.
All right, well, the imaginative Kira, who is currently grappled by the tongue of this horrible beast monster, is up. Remember, when you're grappled, you cannot use any two-handed weapons.
Yeah, I remember. I guess I'll... now, you know what? This is the time. Now is the time for the Icy Burst Dagger. Can I drop a weapon if I'm grappled?
Yeah.
Can I drop a weapon and tell it not to get eaten?
You can say whatever you want to your weapon, but it...
You drop their weapon directly down the frog's throat.
All right, I'm gonna drop the chainsaw.
The chain break engages immediately, and it bounces harmlessly off the creature.
Dang it! And I'm gonna find. Gosh, I don't know where I don't have it in my stuff, which is bad. Should have, because I knew it was coming up. Wait for it. Is it different than a regular? It is different than a regular dagger, but only in that it does ice damage.
It does 1d6 ice damage, and then if you crit, it does more.
And it's also a +1, so it's got another point attack and damage above what a normal one has because it's magic.
All right, here we go. That's an 11. Ugh, this is so gross. You know what? I'm going to rage. That's an 11 plus 11. 22 to stab with the icy burst damage. Oops, sorry, 23. 23 to stab with the icy burst dagger.
That will fail to stab.
Well, that's it. I've tried to stab. I failed to stab. Gonna get swallowed.
All right. Well, that'll bring us to Asuma, who is going to shoot it a bunch of times. I'm guessing this thing's touch AC is bad, but I guess I have to actually look because that was a terrible roll. Yep, she hits it.
Size of a house, so I can't imagine it has a very high touching.
And she's going to shoot it again, natural 1. She's going to shoot it a third time and hit. And then the fourth shot is also going to hit. All right, and then at the end of it, I'm going to do the math on how much damage she actually did. Okay, not a bad amount of damage. She hurt the thing. It's a big old thing, though, and the strategic...
Does it burst into ash?
It doesn't burst into ash. This perhaps seems a bit hardier than those spider eaters. And this strategic Brixby is up to form some kind of strategy against the thing that is
Indeed.
horrible.
So that's going to start with the knowledge roll. What sort of knowledge can I roll?
This would be a Dungeonero.
Ooh. Robert Dungeonero indeed. Yeah, Robert, that's a 33.
All right, well, that does get it, but not by as much as you might think.
Oh no.
You're looking at a color-blighted froghemoth. So it seems to be inflicted by much the same horribleness as the wasp eaters were. It is definitely uglier than froghemoths used to be, however, or normally are, but it seems to be plenty hardy still. You do get one question on the noble froghemoth.
Defenses.
Alright, for special defenses, they have immunity to electricity and resistance to fire.
All right, that's all Brixby needed to know. Brixby, from back here, is going to pull out... Oh, this is fun. I'm going to give a little gap between when I talk about the material components and the spell itself for all the nerds at home, so maybe you can guess this. Pulls out a hoof and fills it with powdered peas.
Of course.
It's one of the first spell components I actually have in my kitchen.
Surprise, it's British food. But kidding, it's actually acid fog. So he's going to cast an acid fog back here. It is a medium range spell. Here is a distance of 15 feet behind, but not enough to envelop Kira's token on the front. And it, being a medium range spell, gives me 100 feet plus 10 per level, so I can cast this at 220 now. That is a billowing mass of misty vapors, as the solid fog spell, in addition to slowing them down, each creature starting their turn inside of the fog takes 2d6 acid damage. And it's on the backside, so it's not going to obscure our sight, so I don't know how much of that. I don't think that it also fully envelops them, so it's not like solid fog is going to do anything, but there's some acid on their butt, and they can't take a retreat easily.
All right.
And that's
acid butt.
And then I'll move up like 30 feet. Yeah. Little acid butt there, and it's the end of my turn.
All right, and then that brings us to the top of round 2. So if you want to roll me those 2d6 of acid damage.
6.
Not too bad. Almost perfectly average. All right, well, the color-blighted Froghemoth, instead of rolling to maintain the grapple, it's going to roll a different combat maneuver check on Kira. Since it does have her grappled, it's just going to open its mouth real wide. And how does a 39 sound against Kira's CMD?
That's so high. Why is that so high?
It's big.
Yeah, that'll do it. That'll do it. 39 is higher than my number.
Okay, so Kira has been swallowed whole. As this thing opens up its gigantic jaws and just straight up swallows her. Now she's going to take 26 damage from being swallowed whole. And she is inside the belly of the beast. It is also just gonna take a little steppy-do out of the acid fog and kind of a little bit farther away from the snake that's threatening it too. While it...
Like a 5 foot?
Yeah, just a 5 foot.
Dang.
I don't know, does that seem like a time to go to bed to everybody? Does it feel like Kira's been eaten? It seems like that might be time to go to bed.
Sky metal.
Sky metal.
Dang, you did say that in the chat. I didn't even notice until just now.
Yeah.
Will Izzy get a sky medal? Find out next time, because I'm going to bed.
Night, Sam.
Night, Sam.
Night, Sam. I would say combat maneuvers usually provoke, so Levi probably could have got a bite.
Oh, dang. All right, he can get a bite next.
Yeah.
Unless it has improved.
I mean, the maximum he's going to be able to do is 19. But he might be able to grapple it.
Does that? Anyway, we'll litigate in the huge amount of time that we have between episodes.
Okay.
Good night, swallow whole Sam.
Good night, Sam. And the color-blighted Froghemoth.
Against the machine.
Pot Against the Machine is property of Network Against the Machine LLC, all rights reserved. Pathfinder and the Iron Gods Adventure Path are property of Paizo Publishing. See their website for more details. Theme Against the Machine was written and performed by our own Zach. See the show notes for additional music and sound licensing. If you enjoyed the show, we encourage you to leave us a review.
Swamp money waveforms. Swamp money waveforms.
It is time to get that swamp money.
I'm so excited.
Swamp money.
Swamp money. Secure the swamp bag.
Get that swamp bag.
Swamp bag.
Build a castle in the swamp. It might burn down. Let's build another one.
Luminous plasma. Corona
Plasma. There's blood involved.
Luminous plasma.
It's true.
I could say luminous plasma for the next 15 minutes. Be happy with myself.
Ooh, the moors. I'm going to haunt those one day.
Ooh,
It's my retirement
life goals.
plan.
It may have been just an effect of the live playback that I just killed, so I didn't need to hear that. I can hear myself just
Jeff's
fine.
secretly juicing his sonorous voice with reverb.
So much.
That's like the closest thing to a scandal inside of podcasting.
Just the juiciest. Yeah, this is on the radio preset.
Sounds good, honestly.
This is the clean preset. Oh, it's so clean.
Oh, that also sounds good, honestly. Hard to gauge, but I would...
There's
Ooh.
a warm preset that's so warm right now.
Yeah, I don't think we need the warm analog tones, because...
There's a bright preset. It's
Ooh,
so
no.
bright.
Some of those are indistinguishable, but I would say, yeah, let's stay clean to radio. Sounds good to
Okay,
me.
and this is no preset. This is just me talking.
I mean, I also love uncut, unadulterated original Jeff.
Ooh, that is a very obscure YouTube.
Yeah, wow, I am 5 minutes in on this Audacity recording.
I put it back on radio for now.
You won't need that spell slot later.
I was on mute having this role play moment where I'm Brixby cast detect radiation from a scroll. Because I was and I was man, well, no one cares. And then I was oh,
No
okay,
one
that's fine.
cares.
That's totally fine.